What's up guys, thank you for watching JGTechBlog. For today's video, we're going to be doing a comparison between the LG Q7 Plus and the LG Stylo 4. I've seen a lot of comments, a lot of people are saying, you know what, I'm not going to get the Q7, I'm just going to stick with my Stylo 4, or you know, it's the best value right now, I'm just going to go down and get the Stylo 4 instead of getting the Q7, although it has more RAM. And there's been arguments back and forth, so I was like, let me put these both to a test, see which one is better, then I'll give you guys the results, and then you can make a better decision on which one you should get. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and first talk about the specs on both phones. On the box itself, they usually have all the specs right here, so looking at them, you have a 5.5-inch display, FHD full vision display on the Q7, while you have a 6.2 FH plus full vision 18:9 ratio for both displays. You already have a winner, which is the LG Stylo 4. A 16 megapixel rear camera on the Q7 and a 13 megapixel on the Stylo 4. So the winner is the Q7 for the camera. This is in terms of specs. 8 megapixel front facing, 5 megapixel on the Stylo 4. Again, we have the Q7 getting the point. 64 gigabytes of internal memory with 4 gigs of RAM. By far the biggest difference between the Q7 Plus and the Stylo 4. Here you have only 32 gigabytes of internal memory and only 2 gigs of RAM. 1.8 gigahertz octa-core processor and a 1.8 gigahertz octa-core processor. Now, just looking at the specs, nothing else, and not actually looking at it in real life how it works, you already have the Q7 being the winner with the camera, the internal space, the gigabytes of RAM, etc. But now let's go ahead and put these both to the test and see which one is actually working better, not just in specs. So looking at the Q7 Plus, you have a very nice display. I know you guys might not be able to see it fully because of the lighting maybe. Honestly, it doesn't do it justice. Display on this looks amazing, while the Stylo 4 looks really nice because it has a bigger screen, but in terms of display and the way it looks, this really looks much better. Before I actually look at other things, I just want to say the design itself looks really cool on the Q7 Plus, more than the LG Stylo 4, but that's preference. So some people might say, you know what, you're wrong, that's your opinion, I like the Stylo 4 design more than the Q7 Plus. So that's preference, right? So I put them both at a tie in that field. Now, looking at the screen size, that also can be preference. This is a 5.5-inch display. This is a 6.2-inch display. Some people like the big screens. Some people can't handle it and they need the small display. They like that much better. I personally like the small size better than the bigger one because it fits much better on my hand and I can use it than this big screen. So that again will be a tie because again, it's also preference. Some might not like the big screen and just like the small one. There is though a stylus pen on the Stylo 4 and the Q7 Plus does not have that. So we'll give a point to you guys just seen that. That's another thing. You can see those scratches on the phone that are already coming up. So that's one negative thing both phones have already. So I'm not even gonna include that, but they get a lot of scratches on the back just out of nothing. Just placing the phone on the table will give you scratches. So you must get a case for either one. Now let's go ahead and test the sound on both of them. This is the same video. So I'm gonna start with the Stylo 4. What's up guys? Thank you for watching JGTechBlog. For today's video we have the LG. And then let's try the Q7. What's up guys? Thank you for watching JGTechBlog. For today's video we have... So you guys can rewind and listen to that again if you need to, but here's what I can tell you listening to it in person. The sound on the Stylo 4 really sucks big time because it's actually really sharp and it becomes a nuisance, while the sound on the Q7 is so much more natural, and that's because the Q7 Plus has DTS-X virtual surround sound. It gives you closer to life sound quality. Now let's go ahead and look at the speed. So let's get out of the YouTube app just so you guys can see. I'm gonna go to the home screen. As you can see, I'm gonna do that one more time. So go to the home screen. It's very slight difference, but you can tell that the Q7 is a little bit faster, just by a millisecond, if not less. You can't really tell if you're using it normally, but if you're doing more heavy duty usage on the phone, multitasking, playing games, definitely the Q7 is gonna work much better because of the 4GB RAM. Looking at the camera, you automatically can tell this is much more clear, has much more lighting. These were taken at the same time. This is the 8 megapixel and this is the 5 megapixel. And then looking at the rear camera, this is the 16 megapixel and this is the 13 megapixel. So you have way better quality on the Q7. Now the battery life is 3,300 milliamps on the LG Stylo 4, while it's only 3,000 on the Q7, and that of course is because the size, they couldn't fit a bigger battery on here. Now last but not least, let's look at the price. You have the Q7 going for $300 after rebates, and then you have the Stylo 4 going for $149 after rebates. The price point on the Q7 Plus, it's much more expensive because of the 4 gigs of RAM. That costs a lot more to manufacture and to put into the phone. For that, I'm gonna give the point to the Stylo 4. So now let's look at the totals real quick. So looking at design, they both got 1 point because of its preference. Some people might say the Stylo 4 has a better design. Some people might say the Q7. Screen size, same thing. Preference, 1 and 1. The stylus pen, the Stylo 4 had it, the Q7 did it. They get a point. Sound, the Q7, the speed was better on the Q7. The camera was better on the Q7, the battery is better on the Stylo 4, and the price was better on the Stylo 4. So looking at the specs, they're both great phones. My recommendation is, yes, they came out of tie, but if you really are on a budget, I think it's more common sense. You're gonna go straight for the Stylo 4. If you're really looking for something with a stylus pen, you're gonna go with the Stylus 4. You're looking to play games and do some heavy duty tasks, you go with the Q7. You're looking for something with a better camera, you go with the Q7. You can't afford the Q7, just go with the Stylo 4. It's simple as that. So if you guys have any comments, please leave it down in the description below. If you haven't seen the reviews for both of these phones, I'm gonna have them both in the description. And by the way, I'm doing a giveaway. You can also check that out down in the description. Let me know which phone you want. Thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.